Here, waterfalls crash through narrow canyons, alpine lakes sparkle beneath jagged peaks, and caves hide worlds of crystal and ice. Slovakia, the little big country, may be modest in size, but it holds landscapes as powerful and diverse as nations many times larger. From its primeval forests to its legendary mountains, it's a land where nature still feels wild and untamed. Stay with us as we journey through the enchanting natural wonders of Slovakia. Tatra National Park. This is Slovakia's oldest national park, established in 1949 to protect its share of the mighty Carpathian Mountains. The mountains form a natural border between Poland to the north and Slovakia to the south, and the two countries have cooperated since the early 20th century on efforts to protect the area. It spans both the high Tatra, with their rugged granite summits, and the gentler low Tatra, known for sweeping ridges and vast forests. The high Tatra are often called the smallest high mountains in the world, yet they pack an alpine punch with 25 peaks over 2,500 meters, including Galakovsky Szczyt, the highest in the entire Carpathian Range. These mountains were shaped by Ice Age glaciers, which left behind a necklace of emerald blue alpine lakes. The low Tatra, stretching to the south, offer long ridge hikes over peaks like Dumbir and Hopuk, where in summer wildflowers paint the meadows and in winter ski resorts bustle with life. This park is also a biodiversity hotspot, home to chamois, marmots, lynx, and even brown bears, alongside over 1,000 species of plants. Historically, the Tatra have been a crossroads. Traders, shepherds, and mountaineers all left their mark here, and the region has inspired centuries of Slovak, Polish, and Hungarian art and literature. Whether you come for high adrenaline climbs, tranquil lakeside walks, or to trace the footsteps of poets and explorers, Tatra National Park offers a perfect blend of natural drama and cultural depth. Kriváň. This mountain in Slovakia is so beloved that it's printed on the national currency and even woven into folklore. Standing at 2,494 meters in the high Tatra, Kriváň is more than just a peak. It's a symbol of Slovak pride and identity. Its distinct crooked summit, from which it gets its name, can be recognized from miles away. Historically, Kriváň was a rallying point for Slovak national consciousness in the 19th century, inspiring poets, painters, and even political movements during the Slovak national revival. In 1841, a symbolic ascent was made by Slovak patriots, marking it as a place where nature met the fight for cultural recognition. The climb to Kriváň is not just a physical challenge. It's a walk through alpine meadows alive with edelweiss and gentian flowers, past glacial tarns carved during the last ice age, and into rock fields that seem untouched by time. On clear days, the summit offers a sweeping view that spans Slovakia, Poland, and sometimes even into distant Czech and Hungarian territories. For centuries, this mountain has been a compass of sorts, for travelers, for artists, and for the national soul. Standing atop Kriváň feels like touching both the land and the history of Slovakia in one breath. Štrbské Lake. This is a lake so still it mirrors a perfect reflection of jagged alpine peaks. It is a glacial lake in the high Tatras at an altitude of 1,346 meters. Formed by retreating glaciers thousands of years ago, the lake covers about 19 hectares and is up to 20 meters deep. It became a tourist destination in the late 19th century when the first spa hotels were built along its shores, attracting visitors from across the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Today, it's both a year-round resort and a nature conservation area, meaning activities like boating are regulated to preserve water quality. In winter, it transforms into a cross-country skiing hub, while in summer, you can stroll along the 2.5 kilometers lakeside path, often spotting trout in the crystal-clear water. The surrounding spruce forests provide a habitat for birds like the nutcracker and capercaillie. This lake is not just a postcard view. It's a living alpine ecosystem wrapped in history and legend. Demänovská Cave of Liberty. This is the most visited cave in Slovakia. Demänovská Cave of Liberty, a jewel of the Low Tatras and part of the Demänovská cave system, the longest in the country. Discovered in 1921, this cave dazzles with colorful dripstone formations, stalactites hanging like chandeliers, stalagmites rising like frozen fountains, and flowstone draperies rippling along the walls. The variety of hues, white, pink, orange, and even green, comes from different mineral impurities in the water. A highlight is the underground river and the serene Emerald Lake, whose greenish tint is caused by dissolved minerals and unique lighting. Paleontological finds here include bones of cave bears, reminding that these chambers once sheltered Ice Age megafauna. The cave's paved pathways and guided tours make it accessible to all, yet stepping inside feels like entering an untouched subterranean world. Jasná. This mountain is both Slovakia's winter sports heart and a summer adventure hub. Stretching across the slopes of Hopek in the Low Tatras, Jasná has earned that reputation over decades. Situated in the Demänovská Valley, it boasts the largest interconnected ski area in the country, with runs descending on both its northern and southern sides. The resort's origins trace back to the 1950s, when the first ski lifts were installed to serve a growing post-war tourism industry. But the mountain's story is far older. For centuries, shepherds grazed flocks here, and old trading paths crossed these ridges, linking central Slovakia to regions beyond the mountains. Today, in winter, Jasná offers more than 50 kilometers of pistes, terrain parks, free-ride zones, and even night skiing under floodlights. Summer transforms it into a playground for hikers aiming for the 2,024-meter summit of Hopek, mountain bikers tackling forest trails, and paragliders soaring over the valleys. Beneath the surface lies the famed Demänovská cave system, the longest in Slovakia, making this one of the few ski destinations in Europe where you can explore glaciers in the morning and stalactites in the afternoon. Slovak Paradise National Park. Imagine climbing ladders beside waterfalls, squeeze through canyons, and balance on wooden footbridges above rushing streams. That's the daily adventure in Slovak Paradise National Park, a 1978 protected area in eastern Slovakia that truly lives up to its heavenly name. Covering more than 300 square kilometers, the park is a labyrinth of gorges, ravines, caves, and plateaus. The park's unique terrain was shaped over millions of years by the erosive force of the Horned River and its tributaries, carving deep canyons into the limestone bedrock. Human history here is just as fascinating. In some of the caves, archaeologists found tools from the Paleolithic period, proving that humans sought shelter in this paradise tens of thousands of years ago. The park is home to over 1,000 species of plants and hundreds of animal species, including the elusive lynx and the golden eagle. Trails like Prelom Hornardu and Veľký Sokol challenge visitors with steel ladders, chains, and platforms anchored into the rock, making the hikes part sport, part exploration. It's also a UNESCO candidate site due to its rare karst formations and biodiversity. Suchá Belá. This is one of the most popular and dramatic routes in Slovak Paradise National Park, where you can hike through a gorge where your trail is actually a sequence of waterfalls. This 4-kilometer gorge is a narrow, vertical world sculpted by the constant force of water, where moss-covered cliffs rise high above your head and sunlight filters down in slivers. The journey begins gently but quickly transforms into an adventure playground for adults and children alike. You climb steel ladders beside roaring cascades, step onto wooden planks suspended above rushing streams, and weave between rock walls so tight you can touch both sides. Historically, this gorge was not always open to tourists. In fact, it remained largely untouched until the 20th century, when pioneers of Slovak tourism installed the first safety aids to make it accessible. The gorge's name translates to dry white, referring to its occasional dry stretches in summer, though in spring and after heavy rains, it becomes a living torrent. Along the route, you encounter spots like Miso Vodopady and Okienkovi Vodopady, each with its own unique character. The experience of Suchá Belá isn't just about the climb. It's about entering a hidden world with unforgettable, natural sculpture. Súľov Rocks. Imagine walking through a stone city built millions of years ago, with towers, gates, and spires, but all crafted by nature's hand. The Súľov Rocks in northwestern Slovakia are a surreal maze of sandstone and conglomerate formations, shaped by wind, rain, and frost into bizarre shapes with names like the Gothic Gate and the Sleeping Monk. These rocks rise dramatically above forests and meadows, forming natural amphitheaters and hidden passages that once served as safe havens. In the 15th century, the area was home to Súľov Castle, a fortress perched high among the cliffs, guarding trade routes between Hungary and Poland. Archaeologists have found evidence of prehistoric settlement here, suggesting that humans have admired and used this landscape for thousands of years. Today, the rocks are not just a geological wonder but also a botanical paradise, home to rare species like the endemic Carpathian violet. Birdwatchers flock here to spot peregrine falcons nesting on sheer cliffs. The hiking trails weave through rock labyrinths and open viewpoints, revealing panoramas of the Javorníky Mountains and the Va River Valley. Tiesňavy Gorge. Imagine driving into a mountain valley and felt as though stone walls were closing in to welcome you. That's the feeling of entering Tiesňavy Gorge, the dramatic gateway to Vratna Valley in northwestern Slovakia. Here, sheer cliffs of the Malá Fatra mountains rise vertically above the road, with jagged rock towers, overhangs, and natural stone windows carved by millions of years of erosion. The name Tiesňavy literally means narrows, and it's easy to see why. This is one of the most strikingly compressed gorges in the country. In the Middle Ages, it was a strategic passage, and old trade routes once wound through these tight stone corridors. Today, it's a favorite stop for photographers and climbers, with formations like the monk, the camel, and the owl sparking the imagination. The gorge is also the starting point for hikes deeper into Vratna Valley, which is a year-round playground, from wildflower meadows in spring to ski slopes in winter. Seasonal waterfalls tumble down the cliffs after rain, making the already imposing scenery even more dramatic. Malá Fatra National Park. Located in northern Slovakia, Malá Fatra National Park is a compact but dramatically varied range. Established in 1988, the park is split into two main sections. The more rugged Kriváňská Malá Fatra, with its jagged peaks like Veľký Rácotek, and the softer Lukanská Malá Fatra, where grassy summits invite long ridge walks. The range is steeped in folklore, especially tales of Janosík, Slovakia's legendary outlaw hero, who is said to have hidden in these mountains. Malá Fatra is also famous for its accessible natural wonders. The Suchá waterfall, the highest in the range, cascades 38 meters into a turquoise pool, and gorges like Janosíkova Diery entice hikers with ladders, chains, and boardwalks. The park's biodiversity is notable, with endemic plants and rare birds like the wall creeper. In winter, Vratna Valley turns into a skiing hub, while in summer it's a hiker's paradise with routes ranging from easy family walks to ridge traverses that challenge even seasoned mountaineers. Veľká Fatra National Park. What if a national park was known not for sharp peaks but for sweeping, open ridges where you can walk for hours above the clouds? That's the charm of Veľká Fatra National Park, a lesser-known jewel in central Slovakia. Designated as a national park in 2002, Veľká Fatra is characterized by broad upland meadows, dense beech and fir forests, and long, undulating mountain crests. Its geology is a mix of limestone and dolomite, which means you'll find hidden caves, sinkholes, and rocky outcrops scattered among grassy slopes. Historically, the area was home to pastoral culture. Shepherds once roamed these high meadows with their flocks, and you can still see remnants of traditional wooden huts used for cheesemaking. Wildlife here thrives thanks to the park's relative remoteness. Wolves, lynx, and even bears roam the forests, while golden eagles patrol the skies. In autumn, the ridges turn into a painter's palette of reds, oranges, and golds, offering some of the best foliage displays in Slovakia. Veľká Fatra is less tourist-heavy than the Tatras, which makes it a perfect place. Pieniny National Park. How about exploring a place where the border between two countries is a winding river through limestone cliffs? Pieniny National Park, on Slovakia's northeastern frontier with Poland, is best known for the Dunajec River Gorge, a natural corridor flanked by towering white cliffs that can reach 300 meters high. For centuries, the most famous way to travel here has been by wooden raft, a tradition dating back to at least the 19th century, when local Highlanders ferried goods and people along the river. The park is smaller than many others in Slovakia but incredibly rich in biodiversity, harboring over 1,100 species of vascular plants and rare animals like the black stork. The Pieniny are also home to cultural treasures. The medieval Červený klášter sits right on the riverbank, once home to monks who copied manuscripts and developed herbal remedies. The park's distinctive peak, Tri Koruni, offers panoramic views that sweep over both Slovakia and Poland. Whether you're hiking, cycling, or floating downstream with the sound of water echoing off the cliffs, Pieniny combines natural spectacle with a strong sense of living tradition. Slovenský kras National Park. Did you know Slovakia is home to the largest karst landscape in Central Europe, filled with underground cathedrals of stone? That's Slovenský kras National Park, a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1995. Located in the country's southeast, it protects a sprawling network of over 1,000 caves and chasms, formed by the slow dissolution of limestone over millions of years. Many of its caves, like Domica, Gombaseka, and Jasovska, are open to visitors, showcasing delicate stalactites, vast halls, and even subterranean rivers. Above ground, the park is a mosaic of rolling plateaus, sinkholes, and rare steppe grasslands dotted with orchids. Historically, the area was inhabited since prehistoric times, as evidenced by Neolithic artifacts found in the caves. It's also a biodiversity hotspot, sheltering species like the lesser horseshoe bat and the elusive European wildcat. This is a park where the most spectacular scenery isn't just on the surface. It's hidden beneath your feet, waiting to be explored. Poloniny National Park. Slovakia has one of the darkest night skies in Europe, where you can see the Milky Way with the naked eye. That's in Poloniny National Park, tucked into the far northeast corner of the country, where Slovakia meets Poland and Ukraine. This UNESCO-listed park protects some of Europe's last remaining primeval beech forests, part of the ancient and primeval beech forests of the Carpathians World Heritage Site. Walking here feels like stepping into a forest thousands of years old. Some trees are over 400 years in age, their trunks massive and moss-covered. Historically, this area was a crossroads of cultures. Small Rusyn and Ukrainian villages still preserve wooden churches, folk traditions, and shepherding practices. Poloniny is also famous for its biodiversity, sheltering brown bears, wolves, lynx, and European bison, reintroduced here after centuries of absence. In 2010, it was declared Slovakia's first dark sky park, attracting astronomers and photographers from across Europe. The park's remoteness, lack of light pollution, and untouched wilderness make it feel like a hidden world, far from modern noise and rush. Siklava Rock. What if you could stand under a waterfall that freezes into a towering wall of ice each winter? Siklava Rock, in eastern Slovakia's Slovak Paradise region, is exactly that. A 30-meter wide travertine cliff over which water tumbles year-round. In summer, the falls create a cool, misty refuge. In winter, they transform into an immense frozen curtain, attracting photographers and ice climbers alike. The travertine formation itself is the result of centuries of mineral-rich water depositing calcium carbonate, slowly building the rock ledge. Siklava Rock also has a cultural past. Locals say it was a favored meeting point for shepherds and hunters moving between valleys. Because of its easy accessibility from the village of Matejaca na Dornadom, it's a favorite stop for both casual walkers and dedicated hikers. Zádielska dolina. This is a narrow valley feels like a natural hallway. In the heart of Slovenský kras National Park, Zádielska dolina pushes that limit. In some sections, the limestone walls rise over 300 meters, while the gorge is barely a few meters wide. This canyon, carved by the Blatnica stream, is the longest in Slovakia at over 3 kilometers. As you walk along its well-marked trail, you pass mossy cliffs, small caves, and the occasional waterfall, all while surrounded by a cool, shaded atmosphere that feels worlds away from the surrounding lowlands. Archaeologists have found evidence of human activity here since the Bronze Age, and in medieval times, shepherds and traders used it as a hidden route through the mountains. And that's just a glimpse into the natural wonders that make Slovakia such a breathtaking and underrated gem in the heart of Europe. If you enjoyed this journey, don't forget to like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe so you won't miss more adventures into the world's most fascinating landscapes. Your support helps us bring more hidden wonders to light. See you in next adventure. Until then, happy travel.